I moved into apartment 1706 in the Paramount on Lake Eola in May 2022. It was pretty quiet and otherwise wouldn't have known I had neighbors on either side of me for the first 7 to 8 months. However, that changed in January of 2023. When I returned home from the holiday, I noticed a drastic change in the behavior from 1704. Music and accompanying bass loudly pounded through my walls, our shared wall, and through my entire apartment and shared resident hallways, at all hours of the day, morning, and night. I made noise complaints to management and security over a dozen times via email, phone, and stopping by their front desk on numerous occasions. This went on for a few months without any help or resolution. Paramount advised I speak to 1704 directly, as it may help neighbor to neighbor. I did not feel comfortable doing this. However, on April 13th, my migraine was so bad from the sound coming from next door through my apartment, I caved in and hesitantly knocked on 1704 to ask if they would turn it down. I met Scott, the resident of 1704. He asked for my number, which I didn't feel comfortable giving, but I hesitantly provided since we lived next door to each other. For the next few months, I received unwarranted and unsolicited text messages from him. I wouldn't engage, and the messages and links to his social media posts, Twitter and Instagram, were unsettling and made me feel alarmed, concerned, and scared of how to handle the situation. I continued to express my concerns to management security, but they didn't do anything about it. During this time, he also found my private social media account. I would also receive airdrops from him when I was at home. This scared me, so I turned airdrop off and blocked him on social. Fast forward to June 2023. I was traveling for 2 weeks. When I returned end of June, management at Paramount asked me to share 1704, or Scott's social media, info so they could look into it, which I provided. I re-expressed my concerns of safety and outlined my interactions to date on 6/30/2023. I saw posts of concerning content. On Sunday, July 2nd, 2023, between 6 to 7 p.m., I saw paper airplanes, and other items being thrown off the next door balcony and screams for help. I called security to alert them and immediately went to the lobby to be far away from what was transpiring next door. Cop, SWAT, and all sorts came up to the apartment. I spoke to a few cops since I was the next door neighbor. I returned home around midnight. On Monday, 7/3, in the morning, I learned he wasn't taken away after the event. I spoke with management on 7/3 at 9 a.m. to continue to express my concerns for safety, and people indicated to me during the standoff that he was waving a gun around from the balcony, which caused even more concern to me. On July 4th, I was home in the evening and throughout the day. I heard banging coming next door and random noises. I went to bed around 10 to 11 p.m. and was awoken at 1 a.m. to the smell of smoke and commotion outside. The alarm did not come through my apartment, but I could smell toxic plastic, electronic-like smoke, and my floors were starting to flood. I escaped down the far set of stairs, waited in the lobby, and eventually spoke with investigators on scene. My apartment was flooded, and I have been displaced since 7/4/2023. On July 5th, 2023, at approximately 1:30 a.m., an active sprinkler alarm went off on the 17th floor. The fire department was immediately notified by our fire alarm system. Our marksman security officer went up to the 17th floor, found smoke exiting the door of apartment 1704. He began having residents nearby in the hallway and lower floors evacuate. The fire department arrived and went up to apartment 1704 to extinguish the flames. The art team later relayed to me that the fire appeared to be intentionally set on the stove. Only one registered resident is in this lease, named Scott Weber. He was not in the apartment when the fire department entered. Estimated minimum damages at this time are $15,000. The property wants to press charges.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. To leave a callback number, press 5.
Hello, Mrs. Weber. My name is Ed Merkel. I'm from the Orlando Fire Department. I'm calling in reference to a fire that occurred at your son's apartment. If you can give me a call back at 321... Call me back as soon as you can. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Where's
This is our victim's mother calling us back. Hello?
Hello, this is Colette Weber calling. Someone had called about a fire at my son's apartment.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Ed Merkel. I'm a fire investigator with the Orlando Fire Department. So I'm calling, because we're concerned about your son. I know our police folks told us that you've called because you're concerned with him.
Correct.
Recently, a few times. Have you heard from him recently?
No, the last time, boy, I really couldn't tell you. It's probably been a couple of weeks, but I've seen his activity. He attempted to charge several things on my Amazon account. On Sunday night, the police called because he was putting SOS signs out on his balcony, and they asked me, his behavior, if he had any guns or anything. I didn't hear anything back. Yesterday, I tried calling 2 different numbers that officers had called us from before.
Excuse me, officer?
Mm-hmm. One was the officer
Hello?
from Sunday night, and the other one was the officer I think I originally asked for a wellness visit on about a week ago.
Okay. And you weren't able to get in touch with anybody?
No. Okay. And he's right on the edge. It's not enough for them to Baker Act them.
Right.
Baker Act him. They said we could do an ex parte, but he is, any day now, is going to be evicted from that apartment if he isn't already. I mean, they closed the paperwork and everything at the clerk of courts, so they're just waiting for it to be served, and I don't know how long that takes.
Okay.
But yeah, I really wish we could somehow get him, it sounds terrible, to get him either in jail or get him to mental health, because he is so paranoid and delusional. The officer Sunday night said, would he talk to you if you called him? And I said, no, he won't. He's either blocked us. I think now his phone has been disconnected for non-payment.
Okay.
Everything. He's just stopped paying everything, and this was several months ago.
Okay. So I think you indicated at one point to the officers that he has a mental health history.
Yes, he's bipolar. He was diagnosed bipolar at probably age 24, right after he finished law school.
Okay.
And whenever he's had episodes, it's always just been depression. He felt like he was going to kill himself. This is different. I know he's smoking pot. I don't know if he's taking anything else. Mm-hmm. I asked my son, I asked his girlfriend, and they said, gee, Mom, because the other brother doesn't really have a whole lot to do with him. He lives over in Spring Hill. Okay. But he says, my concern is he might be because he's lost about 50 pounds in about a month or so.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Was it a bad fire? I mean...
it was significant enough that we're investigating it. It would appear that it was intentional.
Right.
So, this is being investigated as a crime, if I'm being totally upfront with you, and I know you mentioned...
Yeah, no, that's perfectly fine. And I'm sorry, what is your last name, Ed?
Sorry, my last name is Merkel, M-A-E-R-K-L, and I'm one of the investigators in investigating the fire aspect.
Are you a fire marshal, or...?
I'm a fire investigator with the city of Orlando.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's my title.
Okay, that's fine. I've worked for several cities, so I'm not, one as big as Orlando, but I'm kind of familiar. But anyways, I don't want him to hurt himself. I don't want him to hurt anyone else. And he gets to that point. I mean, my husband came down a couple weeks ago to kind of help pay for the rent and stuff, and we were going to try to help him through so he wouldn't get evicted. Mm-hmm. He jumped out on Orange Avenue and told my husband, you're the devil. I wish I'd killed you years ago, And so at that point, we just said, we're done. We're going to have to let him go through this. And, that's where we're at. So, and we just keep watching the logs, and keep waiting for a call. But I appreciate the call. If you have any suggestions what to do, I emailed the clerks to see what was involved with the ex parte. And I guess we have to come in but in the past, he has been, when he lived in California, he was 5150, like, I think twice.
Okay.
And he's in there, like I say, less than 24 hours, and he comes out. And, you know,
I'll be right with you.
I have a question for you. Remember that paperwork I gave you?
Yeah, I have it in the car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it going to make it to, like...
Yes, it
Or
will.
it needs to go?
Yeah, it will.
Okay.
He's got his
have it.
Okay,
so
thank you.
he works the system. Like the officer said, he won't open the door when they come to the door. Do you have a warrant? You know, I mean, it's very frustrating.
Right. Yeah, so bipolar is his only kind of mental health history?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
Absolutely. I will tell you the other day, he's been tweeting like you would not believe. And my husband and I said, we don't go on that. We don't like that. You know, he would just send us the links constantly. And we ended up having to block them.
Okay.
But since then, since he's kind of stopped communication, I go out about once a day just to see where he's at, because I'm afraid he'll come to the house. And we've talked to the Sumter Sheriff out here what we can do, you know, aside from a restraining order. And they just said, you know, watch your surroundings. Don't open the door if he comes. Just call us.
Yeah.
But he did post that he took his Apple computer, which he does all his law work and everything on, and he put it in the bathtub and ran water on it. You know.
Yeah.
Filled the bathtub up. He swears somebody put a bat in his room. And we said, no, you leave your back door open all the time. No, it's voodoo. Somebody put it in. Then he was blaming the girlfriend. I mean, he just goes on and on. He sent the mayor letters about bats and about the police. I mean, I know he's been burning candles, and it concerned me because he was letting them, like, run over, you know? Yeah, I just don't know what to do with him, you know, at this point.
Right.
Like I say, and I'm sorry I'm rambling.
No, that's okay. I understand. I mean, I can hear the frustration in your voice.
He's not a young man. He's going to be 49 in December. You know, and this is the worst that he has been. And like I say, he's paranoid and delusional. And I don't know if that's from smoking the pot or if it's from something else.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say without talking to him. He wasn't at the scene of the fire, you know, that we saw. But obviously,
so he wasn't even there. He took off or was gone. Or
it's hard to say. We're waiting on some video right now to kind of solidify.
See if you can see if he left or whatnot.
But you know, based on evidence at the scene and him being the only person really who has access to his apartment,
right?
You know, there's kind of limits the number of people who could have been involved in setting the fire.
No, that place is like a fortress.
Do you know of any addresses or anywhere he might be or people he would try to contact?
Absolutely not, because I will tell you, he has burnt his bridges with everybody.
Yeah.
His best of friends, his childhood friends. I mean, we've been getting calls from Colorado, California, New Jersey every night. What is wrong with him? Is there anything we can do?
Yeah. If
they reach out to him, he just says, I apologize for my dogs and trash men are here.
Oh, that's all right.
He just says, you're the devil, you know. So he has no one to rely on.
Okay. And is he employed currently, or was he employed recently? He's
self-employed. He's an attorney.
Okay.
And he does trademarks and 401
Okay.
Yeah, the 413Cs, whatever.
Gotcha.
And that's stuff he can do because he's not licensed in Florida, but he's licensed in California, and since those he only deals with the federal government.
Okay.
He can do those. He's got a website, and he had a bunch of clients, and even his clients have basically said, we don't want to have anything to do with it, because a couple weeks ago he was almost like blackmailing them. He was saying, give me a couple thousand, and you can retain me as your attorney. If not, I'm dropping you. Gotcha. And everyone says, well, we're dropping you, or give me the $4,000 back that you've taken. So,
Do you know the name of his business?
Yes, it's called Master Mark Legal.
Like M-A-R-K?
Yes, and it's all one word. Master Mark is one word, legal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and his Twitter, I don't know if you want his Twitter, it's Heavy X Mental, all one word. And you'll know you have the right one because it's a head with like all kinds of maps on it or something or other.
Gotcha.
But he has not been on there in probably almost a week. Like I say, after he trashed the computer, he videotaped a couple scenes of him walking the streets of Orlando. It posted at 3 a.m. I don't know if that's when he was out there. Mm-hmm. And then there was nothing, but I think his phone was turned off. His cell phone was turned off for non-payment.
Okay.
And then, like I say, Sunday, we had gone scalloping with the other son, and we came in, and my phone was just going nuts from Amazon, and he had rented probably, or he bought, I think, because it was like $15 a pop, all these sci-fi movies. And he tried to buy a new Fire Stick because in his mind, he probably thinks that when something's wrong or somebody's listening to him on it or something.
Okay.
And then later that evening, we were leaving my sons at 8 o'clock, the other son. That's when Orlando PD called me, and he was doing this SOS lining. And they had his phone number, but they probably couldn't get a hold of him because, like I say, I think it's dead.
Do you know who his carrier was? Phone carrier?
Yeah, T-Mobile.
Okay.
T-Mobile, and do you want his number? I can give that to you.
Sure.
613-2562. And I will tell you the 800 number, it just transfers to his cell.
Okay.
So it's one of those, you call that number, but it transfers to his cell.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. So this is my cell phone number. If he contacts you or anything like that, or if you remember something, you can give me a call at this number. And I really appreciate you being, open.
Well, like I say, I want him to get help. And he refuses it. And I don't want him to hurt himself, but I definitely don't want him to hurt anybody else. He was kind of going off on the manager at the Paramount the other day, too. And I thought, And I told him way in the beginning, I said, Scott, stop before you regret what you're doing or before you can't take it back, because he was just saying awful things to my husband and I and everybody else. And I just said to him, stop. I'm not going to listen to it. You're going to regret. And anyways, okay, I'm sorry, Ed.
No, that's okay. One last question. He had a girlfriend, right, Ayana?
Yes.
Are they? What is their status, if you're aware?
They went probably about 6 weeks ago for like a long weekend to LA. When they came back, they originally had just been friends. I think they were more than friends. But since then, he doesn't want to have anything to do with her. She's worried sick about him. She had a friend about 6 months to a year ago commit suicide, so she's just on pins and needles. She's been texting my husband almost every day, saying, have you heard from him? Or I've tried and I can't, She called again the other day for a wellness call, and I think she had before. And the officer told her, look, we can't keep making these wellness calls.
Yeah.
So, and like I say, I don't know what to do. I'm willing to come down there and actually be the guinea pig and try to get him to come out of the apartment and say, meet me,
Yeah, well, he's not in his apartment currently, and we're just trying to get an idea of where he is or might be at this time.
My guess is he's walking the streets. He frequented the pizza place out there on Central, and he also frequented Eola Wine there on the corner. But aside from that, he doesn't really have, like I say, he doesn't have any friends. The friends he did have, he's alienated all of them. I think they're all petrified.
Yeah.
Yeah. which is sad.
Yeah, it's
And
unfortunate.
he doesn't realize that all his other friends from childhood friends, whatnot, back in California are calling concerned about him and whatnot. So
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll let you go for now. And again, if anything comes up that you think of, or he tries to contact you, or if you hear that he's trying to contact anyone else, please.
most definitely. And now I can contact you on this 321. There's a white Prius in the parking garage.
Okay.
But about 2 weeks ago, it caught on fire somewhere. I don't know where. And he and his girlfriend were in the car. She paid to have it towed back to the apartment. The way she made it sound, it wasn't runnable.
Okay.
But you might want to check it. He could be in the car. Who knows? And that's all I can tell you about that.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, we'll go take a look at that.
And like I say, my husband had gone down there and was going to help him with the car, going to help him with the apartment and try to get him help. And when he kind of freaked out, we just said, done, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And since everything's in his name, we can't touch it, you know.
Right.
So.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for the call.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate your talking with me. And we'll be in touch if there's.
Yeah, I would appreciate it. That's what I'm hoping for, is if they take them in or something, that they will call, since they have all our information on record, that, someone would at least say, hey, he's been picked up or he's been sent somewhere,
Yeah, so we're actively looking for him now. If we locate him, if you want, I'll give you a call to let you know that he's in custody and safe.
Okay.
All right.
I greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right. Bye-bye.
That concludes the interview.
So, if you don't mind, can you sit over here for us, please?
Sure.
Thank you so much.
I think I can have some more water, like a bottle or a glass of water.
Yes, I can do that.
Thank you.
Just wait till she gets back with your water.
Sure, no problem. I like your tattoo.
Oh, thank you.
It's harkens back to the 1700s, right?
It does, yes.
Yes. Don't tread on me, kind of.
Sort of, yeah.
Sort of.
Ballpark. It was before that.
Yeah, I know, but I mean that's kind of what.
It's more of a Ben Franklin thing.
I love Ben Franklin. Yes. I read his the biography by Walter Isaacson.
Oh,
it's like this thick.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never read it, read it. It'll blow your mind.
I've read his autobiography, but
the biography is really good though. Yeah, I've never read the autobiography, just the biography. But yeah, he did so much in his lifetime.
Oh, here we go.
Thank you. I appreciate
You're very welcome.
And like I said, like my most important request right now is to make sure that paperwork that I gave you is secured.
Yeah, no, it is. Okay. It's in my car, and my car is locked up. All right.
So, Mr. Weber, do you want to go by Mr. Weber or Scott? Do you have a preference?
You can call me Scott.
Scott, okay. Hey, my name's Ed. I'm a fire investigator. Okay?
Nice to meet you, Ed.
And so we're going to just be talking here. This fine officer is going to just read you something. I'm sure you're familiar with it. But.
All right. So I'm just going to read it verbatim from the card. You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, anything you say may be used against you in court. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have the right to talk to a lawyer before and during questioning. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you cannot afford a lawyer and want one will be provided for you before questioning without charge. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything to get you to talk to me?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
No worries.
All right, Scott. So you kind of probably know why I'm here, right?
No, I have no idea.
Okay. So there was a fire in your apartment. Tell me a little bit about your last couple of days. Where have you been?
Last couple of days I've been locked up in a mental health facility.
Okay.
2 actually. One is it's called Princeton Plaza. It's at 1800 Mercy Drive.
Okay.
In the city of Orlando. It is apparently owned or operated by Aspire Partners.
Okay.
And I was brought there probably maybe like 4 days ago, 4 or 5 days ago, 4 days ago, I'm guessing.
Do you know the exact date? Is it on your paperwork by chance?
It might be. I'm sure they have that information in their system as to when I was brought there initially.
Okay. Was it during the day, at night?
I think it was at night that they brought me there initially. I don't recall.
How did you get there?
OPD.
OPD.
Yeah.
Okay. And you were where when you were picked up by OPD?
Somewhere in Orlando. I don't know the exact.
Do you know where you live? What's your home address?
2090 Tint Terrace in the Villages, Florida.
That's your home address?
That's what's on my ID. That's what I consider my home.
Okay.
address,
Where do you live?
Yeah.
You live somewhere here in Orlando?
Yes, I also have a place in Orlando.
Okay. And where is that at?
415 East Pine Street.
Okay.
Apartment 1704.
1704.
It's called the Paramount.
The Paramount.
I live on the top floor. Beautiful apartment.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And does anyone live there with you?
No.
No.
Just myself.
Only you? Does anyone else have access to the apartment?
No.
No. Can you remember the last time you were there?
Probably about 4 days ago.
4 days ago?
Probably around the day.
So today's the 10th? So
let me see. Probably the 4th or 5th, I'm thinking.
4th or 5th?
Yeah.
Do you remember seeing fireworks?
No.
No? Okay. Have you ever had any type of issues with fires in the past? Or,
Never.
You know, like have you had anything else catch fire in your life?
No.
Okay. And so, just going back to, going to the hospital. So, did you go straight to the Princeton Plaza, or did you go to the ER?
They brought me to Princeton Plaza.
Okay. So,
and I was there probably maybe overnight. Like if they brought me in the evening or night, I don't recall exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
The next day, they brought me then to where she picked me up today,
Okay.
which is I don't know if it has an official name.
Okay, just a different facility.
It was an Aspire facility. Oh, for people who are at risk of eloping, they call it. I guess flight risk of some sort.
Got it. And what'd you go there for? What was the reason?
I have no idea. I guess the police thought that I needed to be Baker Acted.
Okay.
They brought me in under the Baker Act for a psychiatric evaluation. I have a background in psychology as well as I'm an attorney, so I understand how these things work. Okay. And I've worked in the mental health industry. I've had multiple jobs in the mental health industry, but anyway, they brought me in, and when I got to the second facility, they were very adamant about me taking medication. They kept pressuring me and pushing me to take medication. I told them I don't take medication. I said I used to take medication, but I don't take medication.
Okay. So just pause right there. So what medication did you take before?
I took two things over the course of my life. Okay. Probably beginning in 2002. It was about a year after I graduated law school. I had kind of a mental health episode. I was under a lot of stress, severe stress, because I was living at home with my parents at the time, and they didn't like the fact that they felt that I was kind of wasting my law degree pursuing what I was pursuing at that time, which is not important. But but long story short, I fell into a depression, and our family doctor ultimately prescribed me Paxil. Okay. So I've been taking like off and on for the last probably like 19 years Paxil. Okay. 20 milligrams.
When was the last time you took it regularly?
Oh, the Paxil?
Yeah.
About 9 months ago, probably. Okay. Yeah.
And you said you were on a second medication. Was that
Abilify.
Was that like more recent?
It was more of the Abilify came into the picture probably around 2007. Okay. It's an antipsychotic, and at that time I was having like a similar or depressive episode in 2000. Like I said, it had been 5 years, and I was doing fine. And then I started, just based on certain life circumstances, I kind of felt myself slipping into the depression again. So my mom offered to help me and insisted almost that I come out to Florida, where they live in the villages, and see a psychiatrist.
Okay.
So I saw a psychiatrist named Dr. Ungsen. It's called the Center for Hope. I believe it's in Leesburg.
Okay.
It doesn't matter, but you could find him. And I was prescribed. He met me, and after 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, probably like 2 minutes of speaking to me, he said, "You're not depressed. You're bipolar." I was like, "Wow, really? That's a shock." I went to school for psychology. I study these things because I've been going through depression now for at least 5 years. So I've done the research, and I disagreed, but ultimately he put me on Abilify. And I took it. It was a very small dosage. It was like, I think, 5 milligram, which might even be the smallest dose that you can take. So I took the Abilify, and then after that, I think I went back to California, and a short time after that, maybe a few months or a year, maybe at the most, and I saw another psychiatrist out there because I was going to need to continue on my med regimen, right? The Paxil and the Abilify.
Yeah.
So I saw a doctor out there named Dr. Hanna at Mountain View Mental Health. It's kind of like a private, not private, but like it's like in a strip mall, like a small office, And she, again, was another person who, after speaking to me for like 5 minutes, she was like, "Yeah, you should probably be on the." I told her my concerns about the Abilify. I was like, "Doctor, like I've been taking this Abilify, and it doesn't seem to even do anything for me. Like if because I've noticed at times where I forgot to take it maybe for a few days or a day or something, that like I didn't feel any." So not only that, at the time, Abilify wasn't generic. So it was going to cost me over $2,000, I think $2,700 a month to take Abilify, which is for anybody outrageous, especially if you don't have insurance. Even if you have insurance, it's like, wow. So she had samples, and she tried to help me and gave me a ton of samples to like take until I could either get my money straight or find insurance or something, So since that time, I've been taking the Paxil and the Abilify probably since 2007.
Roughly,
But I stopped taking the Abilify at least 2 years ago. I'm thinking almost 2 years ago.
And you said you stopped Paxil about 9 months ago.
Almost a year, yeah. It's probably almost a year, yeah. Because I ended up actually getting a medical marijuana card here in the state of Florida. And because I wanted to lean more toward what I consider more of like a natural, holistic regimen versus taking pharmaceuticals, especially the Abilify, because the Paxil didn't scare me so much as much as the Abilify, because the Abilify is an antipsychotic, and I honestly felt that I was starting to get symptoms of TD, tardive dyskinesia. I developed this little spitting thing. Almost like a tick, and people around me noticed and would tell me, like, "What are you spitting for?" I wasn't even aware of it, and then finally I kind of put two and two together, and I was like, "Wow, okay, it's the Abilify." So I stopped taking the Abilify, and like I said, and I let my medical marijuana card expire too, about a year ago. I think in May. It's been over a year, I think, that my medical marijuana card expired, So, but I've been healthy. I'm in the best shape of my life, I consider, right now, like physical shape. Like I probably am in better shape than I even was in high school, maybe, So
was in that getting in shape? Was that a purposeful thing on your part?
No, it was kind of an effect.
Okay.
A natural effect of doing those things. So. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't like a vanity thing.
Like I'm trying to. An effort to. No.
It's just kind of happened, and I don't have a target weight, and I really don't want to let myself get too skinny, and I'd like to tone up and build up, bulk up a little, but.
So, can you remember the last time you were in your house or in your apartment here in Orlando?
I'm going to plead the fifth on that one.
Okay, fair enough. Is there anything else you want me to know, or?
Yes, that beginning on June 19th,
June 19th. Okay.
Juneteenth.
Okay.
A few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Probably actually a week or two before that. About a week. Probably a week before that. I was late on my rent,
Okay.
and I've lived there 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
It's approximately 24 months.
Mm-hmm.
In that period of time, my rent was always paid on time, with the exception of maybe one or two times where I was a few days late, and I had to pay like $165 late fee. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
which it's tough times out here for everybody. Even myself, I'm an attorney, I'm an entrepreneur. It's I know I'm not the Lone Ranger here.
Yeah.
You know, so that happened. However, around that time, my father, Kenneth Weber, who is I said he lives in the Villages with my mom.
Oh, that's the address.
Yeah,
you gave.
at 2090.
Okay.
Right. That's on my ID.
Okay.
That's where I get my mail.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even think I get mail at the Paramount. If I do, it's just junk. Like
Mhm.
I don't have. Oh, and maybe my old Trustco bank account or something that was in there's a bank in my building, and
Okay.
I thought it would be cool to bank in my building. So
All right.
it's out of convenience.
Mm-hmm.
So
So going back to June 19th.
okay, so now I'm going back to the week leading up to the date of June
Got it.
19th.
Okay.
Unbeknownst to me, the management contacted my father
Mhm.
because he's a guarantor on my lease.
Okay.
That I was late with the rent. Excuse me. A second.
Sure.
So, they called my father, and he became irate with me.
Okay.
He was like, "What are you doing? I just got a call.
Mm-hmm.
You're late on the rent. What are we gonna do? What are you gonna do?"
Mhm.
Just really grumpy, agitated, angry. And I told him, "Look, Dad, chill out. It's not the end of the world. I'm not in I don't own this place. I'm not in foreclosure.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not at risk of losing hundreds of thousands of dollars here." Like I said, absolute worst cases. If I did get evicted, I get evicted, right?
Mhm.
But I said that's not going to happen because we still have like plenty of time to remedy the situation. I
Mhm.
said we actually have probably about 2 weeks at least to remedy the situation and pay the rent. Either you, me, together. However, this could be taken care of. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So for the next couple days after that, he called me persistently. I told him, just fall back and let me try to see if I can pull some strings,
Mm-hmm.
work some magic, and make this happen. So he just continually pesters me, like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Mhm.
Where are you going to get the money? How are you going to get the money? Like, he's asking way too many questions, being very pushy. And so finally, him and my mom they kept offering, let us just pay for the rent. Let us pay for the rent. I said, no, I don't want you to pay for the rent. I said, let me handle it, right? So finally, just to get this monkey off my back, no offense to my dad because I love him,
Yeah.
but yeah, I said sure. And in the past, whenever my parents have ever like needed if I ever needed to borrow some money, like real quick or for something, my mom would Zelle it to me. She banks with Chase. I bank with B of A. Are you familiar with what Zelle is?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So they would send the money via Zelle, and it would never be an issue. It was like instant. It would be like, hey, Mom, I'm in a pinch. I need $200.
Mhm.
I'll pay you back in a few days or whatever. Can you shoot it to me? Yes. Okay. Boom. I have the money in like minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
This time, however, for some odd reason, my mom said, according to my dad, this is hearsay, but she told my father, he tells me this, I don't know if she really said this or not, but that we don't trust you, and we think you're going to use the money for something frivolous, or you might use it to travel or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, no. I said, what have I done lately? Like, I just saw, and I had just seen them. The last time I had seen them in person was probably a few days before this phone call. Like, literally.
Okay, and do you know approximately what day this phone call is happening?
Yeah, like I would say, let's say 3 to 5 days let's say 5 days before approximately 5 days before June 19th.
Okay. So like around the 14th.
June 13th, 14th. Okay. But I think that previous weekend, or the few days prior to that, is the last time I physically visited or saw my parents.
Okay, so you went up to
the villages, in the villages, with my good friend and client, Donald Cooley, who runs a non-profit for skateboarding. I have a background in skateboarding. I was a sponsored amateur. I've had businesses in skateboarding, like skateboard companies, beverage brands, things like that. Okay. And so when we went to visit my folks, like, they loved my friend. We all went out to dinner. We were at the house talking for hours. It was like really cool meeting, you know. And so that's why the whole kind of like them changing their behavior like overnight and acting really strange to me. I thought it was very odd behavior. It was kind of baffling. I didn't understand why they were behaving this way toward me. So now, I'm trying to remember where we're going with this.
So your rent, your dad was a guarantor.
Okay. So now we decide that they tell me, my parents tell me. I could hear my mom in the background too. I could actually hear her say this, and I could hear him say it. But she had reviewed the paperwork that because the 3-day notice or whatever, the eviction paperwork. I got a copy, and they got a copy. Okay, because he's the guarantor. Yeah. I guess somewhere in there it says that the rent can be paid at the local courthouse. Okay, like you can go to the court clerk and pay the rent. But I believe it also says in there that I could pay it right there if I want to in the leasing office, that I don't need to go to the court.
Right.
Okay. So I guess it's my bad, but I didn't review the paperwork, and I kind of took my mom's word for it that's what needed to be done. So I told her, I said, just send me the money, I'll go to the courthouse, and I'll pay the rent. It's like walking distance, okay? It's like not even probably a mile away. They insisted again that no, your dad has to take you. He's going to take you, he's going to pick you up, and you're going to go pay the rent, and that's it. So I was like, fine. So I believe it was June 19th. I think it's a Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
Of this month, July 2023.
Okay.
He calls me.
Wait, back up a sec. Which month was it? When this
is June. I'm sorry, June 2023. I'm sorry. No, thank you. Yeah, June. June 2023, because that's Juneteenth. Okay. I apologize. I've been through a lot in the last couple of days. Like, really have. Like, it's
take your time. Have a sip of water.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. So now he calls me. He's going to come. It's agreed like the night before that he's going to come on like the 19th, I believe it was. That's the best of my knowledge. Okay. It could be a day earlier, it could be a day later, but it was like on or about Juneteenth. Okay. Yeah. He calls me and says, "Hey, I'm around the block. Come downstairs. I'm almost here." So I hop in the elevator, go downstairs. I walk out the lobby. I see his car. It's a black Toyota Avalon. It's him, obviously. Yeah. I get inside. I open the car door, and I go to sit down, and I reached out to shake his hand because the past few days over the phone things have been kind of testy. Okay. Mostly because he's getting angry at me. But I just thought I'd be the bigger man and kind of extend an olive branch of sorts and try to shake his hand. Right. And he was very hesitant to shake my hand. And I'm thinking, like, why are you acting so strange to me lately? Like, why are you hesitant to touch my hand or shake my hand? And so that happens. Then I sit down, and then he starts tearing into me about, he says, "Why are you wearing a hat?" And I normally don't wear hats. I have a bunch of hats, but for some reason that day I felt like wearing a hat, and I wore a hat, a normal hat, like I think it was like an Adidas ball cap or something, you know. And he got angry at me for wearing a hat and told me that I looked like a juvenile or just kind of insinuating that he didn't like it and didn't approve of me wearing a hat.
Okay. So
now this is all important stuff.
Yeah.
This is all important stuff. So now he asks me. He goes, "Oh, good news. The courthouse is only a half a mile away." And I said, "Yeah, I know. I live down here." And so he's looking at his phone, and he's like, obviously he had mapped it because he's not familiar with downtown.
Okay.
He's looking at his phone for us to get there. So now we pull out of the driveway. We make a right onto Pine Street. We're heading up toward Orange to make a left to go to the courthouse, right? So as we're driving, like literally right when we turn out of the driveway, like we might have gone 30 to 50, probably 50 feet, and there's a parking garage to the left for the 101 apartments, right? Or not 101, City, I think it's called City Apartments or City View or something. Anyway, I see a car coming out, and neither my dad or this car kind of see each other, and I said, Dad, like look out. And he quick slams on the brakes, and avoided an accident, right? So now he's like kind of shaken, and then he asked me right then and there. He goes, "Do you even know where we're going?" And I said, "Yeah, Dad, we're going to the courthouse to pay the rent." Now I'm thinking my dad is going through some senile episode, like he's in his 70s. I'm thinking maybe this is some sort of early onset, like dementia or Alzheimer's or something, because he just got done, it's just none of this is making sense. So now I said, I go, "Do I need to map it?" He's like, "Did you map it?" And I said, "No, I don't need to map it. I know where we're going, So now I have an iPhone, or I had one, and then
where'd your iPhone go?
I have no idea, but I started taking. I like to take photographs. I consider myself to be a photographer, an artist. I skate. I do music. I produce music. I rap. I do a lot of art. I'm into art. I love art.
Okay.
I've always loved art.
Yeah. So you're taking pictures.
So I just started snapping some photos of like just the street. Not of him, and not of any. Just out to the right of my window. Excuse me. He sees me doing this, and he freaks out again. This is now like within a time span of like 2 minutes. He's like digging into me yet again. Like, "Why are you taking photos? You're always taking photos. You're making me nervous." That's what he said. He goes, "You're making me nervous." And I said, "Why am I making you nervous?" And he's like, and then I said, "Dad, I'm a photographer." And he goes, "You're not a photographer." He's like, "Yeah, right. You wish you were a photographer." Like totally demeaning me and putting me down. I'm a grown man. I'm 48 years old. Like, he has no right to talk to me this way. I don't care if he's my dad, I felt very disrespected. And so now, at this point, my blood is starting to boil a little bit because I feel like he's pushing my buttons. And I don't want there to be some sort of episode, I just want to pay the rent and say goodbye.
So you guys are still driving.
So now we're driving. Now we get to, I believe it was Orange. I think it was Orange. And instead of making a left to go to the courthouse, he makes a right. And now we're going the opposite direction of the courthouse. And that really spooked me because I felt like it was like, in my gut, I was like, this is some kind of weird setup or something. Like, I wouldn't put anything past my dad, but
set up for what?
I have no idea. I really have no idea. That's the whole thing, because I had just seen them days ago with my friend, and everything was like kosher, And now he's really been aggravated and angry with me all over a measly rent payment, And so now we get to the next light. I think it was Central. I think it was Orange and Central, and we're at a red light. And I looked at him and I told him, I was like, "You know what?" I said, "I don't know what's going on, but I said the old me probably would punch you right now." I said, like, if I was a kid, if I was a teenager, like when you used to do this to me when I was a kid, like I'd probably punch you. But I was like, I'm a grown man now, and I'm going to choose to take the high road. And I said, I don't need your help, and I wish you the best, but I'm out. So I opened the car door and started walking back to my apartment. Because I'm like, I don't need this. I still have, like, in my mind, at least several weeks to come up with the money, which shouldn't be a difficult problem.
So you didn't have the money in your bank account to pay?
No, not at that moment,
Okay.
but I get money coming in all the time from various methods or ways. Like I said, I do art. I do my law. I have my own law firm. It's called Mastermark Legal.
Okay.
It's incorporated in it's a professional law corporation in the state of California.
Okay.
I do primarily trademark law and business formation.
Okay.
And I work with people all over the country and all over the world because I practiced before the United States Patent and Trademark Office, which is in Arlington, Virginia. It's a federal entity, or that governs intellectual property in our country, patent and trademark.
Yeah.
So,
and is that business going, or all your businesses, are they generally going well?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, so.
I understand.
I mean,
up and down,
yeah. I'm happy. I've been happy. I've been busy. That's for sure. And I'm always getting new clients or consulting with people, and things have been very much on the up and up. I would say in my life, especially the last six months to a year. I've filed several trademarks for myself, even that I own. Normally, I'm filing for other people, but I've seen opportunities and seized on opportunities, what I consider to be good opportunities, in the not too distant past.
Yeah.
And I've spent my own money acquiring or at least filing trademark applications for certain names.
Got it.
And so things I couldn't complain. I can't complain. Complain. Yeah.
And so, if all your businesses are going well, where did your money go?
Like I said, I've been investing in myself lately.
Okay, so you've been spending it on
other
stuff.
I decided I didn't want to pay the rent, or because I had just got done paying for these trademarks that I think could make me millions. It's like you know what I mean. It's like, because you only have a small window. I've been doing this for 22 years now. I've been doing trademark law at least for a solid 15 years, if not longer.
Yeah.
And I know that there's often a very brief window where if you don't seize on a particular name or trademark, someone else could beat you to the punch.
Right.
So I thought it was more important to do that.
Okay.
I wasn't spending my money on clothes or drugs or.
Have you ever had any drug issues in the past or anything like that?
No. I mean, I've experimented when I was a kid and stuff, or like a teenager a little bit. But that's it. Or maybe I even wasn't. I don't know.
All right.
But I've never had a serious drug issue. No.
Got it.
Or I don't like alcohol either. Like, I'm not into alcohol.
Okay.
I don't. I have a good friend who, when I was growing up, he got into meth. And so, and I watched his life deteriorate, and his mind, and everything, and his family. And so, and I have a brother who died of alcoholism at age 36. My baby brother, a few years ago, probably about 4 years ago.
Okay.
He was a hardcore alcoholic. So drugs are not cool to me. I'm not interested in drugs.
Got it. Okay.
I do like to smoke marijuana sometimes, though.
Okay.
That's it. And I try to do it legally. So.
Understood.
Yeah.
All right. So, is there anybody in your life?
Oh, so can I finish? Can I finish this story now? So now I'm walking back to the apartment. Okay. And as I'm walking, my phone rings, and it's my dad. And I'm like, do I pick this up or not? Like, I know he's just going to be irate, and he's basically like, what are you doing? Like yelling at me again, I think, and then he tells me, this is what's going to happen right now. And I said, what? And he goes, I'm going to drive over to the apartment right now, and I'm going to tell the management that you're going through a severe mental episode right now, that you want to hurt yourself, that you want to hurt me and others, and I'm going to do my very best to get you evicted from the apartment.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, now what is really going on? Like really? Like, over what? Like, what is this about? And so I was kind of obviously I was concerned about that. He's literally threatening to me that he's going to defame and disparage and slander my good, well-earned name and reputation. And the people there generally like me, and I like the people at the Paramount. I've dealt.
So now, since you bring that up, anybody there you have beef with?
Nobody. No.
You get along all your
I get along
neighbors,
with everybody,
and management, and everything.
Everybody. Just for like maybe a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, I got a sound complaint from my direct neighbor to the left of me.
Okay.
I forget the number of it. It might be 702 or something.
Okay.
But or 706 maybe, because I'm 1704. I forget how it goes, but excuse me.
Okay.
So,
were you playing music loud?
No, I wasn't. I have a small Bluetooth speaker. It's like a Bose speaker that's like this loud, and so. But I understand that sometimes sound can travel and there's bass and stuff.
Thin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But the walls there are not thin, like in that building for sure. So anyway, yeah. But we never had a beef. Like she did complain to the management. I think her name. I have her name in my phone. I'm trying to remember. Brittany. I think her name is Brittany.
Is management?
No. Brittany's my neighbor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Long story short, Brittany ended up coming to my apartment one day and knocked on my door and was like, "Hey, your music's a little loud again. Can you turn it down?" I said, "Sure, no problem." Her and I shook hands. We talked for a few minutes, and we actually exchanged numbers and became kind of like friends, so to speak. Okay. And I told her, I said, "Hey, if there's ever an issue, just call me. You don't have to call management. Just call me directly, and vice versa. You know, if you're loud." Because she has a dog that I never complained about her dog. But she had a dog that would bark really loud all the time, and so so that was that. But to answer your question, no, I had no beef.
Okay.
With anybody.
And did Brittany have access to your apartment?
No.
Share
keys? She never even stepped foot in my apartment, not even one time.
Okay.
Okay. So now I'm walking back to my apartment, and I'm just trying to gather my thoughts because it's all coming at me very suddenly. You know, this whole situation with my father. Like I said, trying to get under my skin, provoke me, and then him threatening me with libel or slander and disparagement, you know, not only of my personal but my professional life, you know. And so I get back to my apartment. I didn't go to management. I went upstairs first just to have a drink or use the bathroom.
Okay.
And then I was like, I need to go downstairs like now, kind of like a preemptive strike, so to speak, and get to them before he does to warn them that, hey, my father is kind of off his rocker at the moment, and he's going to tell you some stuff that is definitely not true. And when I got down there, he wasn't there in person, but he was on the phone with Alicia, who works at the Paramount as one of the leasing agents. Okay. And she was sitting behind the security desk that day on the phone. Normally, typically they have their own desks. I think there are 2 desks when you walk into the lobby for the leasing agents, and then behind them is the manager's office. Her name is Lily Kelleher, right? Okay. And so Alicia's on the phone. So Alicia's on the phone. She's talking to my dad. Okay. And I said, Alicia, hold on. She's like, no, I'm talking to your dad. And I said, okay. So I started filming it. Okay. Like. Because I felt like I needed to record this. So I sat there and I was filming the phone conversation. I don't know if Alicia saw that I was filming or not, but I filmed the entire phone conversation. And so yeah, at one point my dad wanted to speak to me. She said, "Oh, your dad wants to speak." I said, "No."
Okay. So that kind of happened.
Yeah. So after that phone conversation, I told her, I said, look, I don't know what's going on with my dad, but he's tripping. Like, I said, we just went to the courthouse, and she's like, you don't need to go to the courthouse. You can just pay it right here. Right. And I was like, really? I wasn't 100% sure of that. She's like, I said, I thought I could, but my mom and my dad were telling me otherwise. And she said, okay. So she assured me that, I said, where are we with the eviction process? She's like, oh, you have plenty of time. Like, she even went so far as to tell me that even if they were to go all the way with the eviction process, that it could take up to 3 months before the sheriff actually gets there to serve the writ and literally evict me. Okay. So I was like, wow, that's good news, because now I'm thinking, I don't just have 2 weeks, I have like potentially several months to pay my rent, right? Like worst case scenario. That's not my intention. I wanted to clear it up immediately, but so that happened. Then, okay, I'll stop there. I'll let you.
Okay. And so that's still all in June, right?
Yes,
this
sir.
is all that June 19th time frame? Okay.
Yes, last 2 weeks of June.
And so, until within the last week, the 4 or 5 days ago that you said you were Baker acted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, have you had any interactions with police here locally?
Not to my knowledge, no.
No, never. No, you never called them. They never called for you.
Yes. I called. I at one point, my brother got involved. My brother Mark Morgan Weber. He's my younger brother, not the one who died of alcoholism, but the middle brother.
So I'm the middle brother.
I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest of 3 boys. Okay. So my brother, he moved to Hawaii probably around 2005 or 6 and lived in Maui for like 15 years.
Right.
And then about 3 years ago moved out here after he got married and had a baby.
Okay.
So, and it was, he felt that he didn't like his job there. Right. These are kind of relevant facts, but so my brother moves out here. My brother's a sharpshooter. He's actually a competitive shooter in Maui. Won, I guess, some big awards or something. Even used to travel to like Reno, Nevada from Hawaii to shoot.
But he lives here in Florida now?
He lives in Florida now. He was living in Oxford, which is literally adjacent or on the outskirts of the villages, in a community called Oxford Oaks, which is, I believe, owned by the villages. It really is.
Couldn't tell you.
It is. All
right.
I'm be willing to bet. And so
you had some interaction with him.
Oh, he calls me and tells me, in a short time span of all this, my parents acting weird. He says, he's like, what are you doing? You're talking crap online about me, and you're saying some stuff on like Facebook and your other social media, and he was like, he's like, all your friends, and he starts telling me all this crazy stuff. Like, he's telling me all my friends, my family. He's like, everyone is really disappointed in you right now. We don't like what you're saying on social media, and he basically threatens to kill me. He says like like a veiled threat of violence is what I would consider it. A veiled, like insinuated that he goes, you know how I get down. Like, he's like, meaning, like, I know what he meant, like, by his weapons and his guns, and that you don't want to...
So that's exactly what he said? Like, those are the words he used?
Yeah, like, I mean, he didn't come right out and say, I'm going to shoot you, and it's going to take place. No, but he was like, you're screwed, And so I was like, wow. Now I have my brother calling me, threatening me with violence. My dad is threatening to get me evicted and slander my name. My mom's acting funny. Like, the whole family is acting really funny right now. So I decided to file a restraining order against them, and I went online probably early June, I'm thinking.
So this is before the thing with your dad?
No, this is after. July. I apologize. I keep getting June and July mixed up. Okay, so now we're in early July. I decided to file the restraining order. I went online. Well, first I think I called the local police, or I went online, did some research, and I've never had to file a restraining order in my life. There's once or twice where I thought about it, but I didn't, because I know that at the end of the day, it's just a piece of paper, and if someone wants to hurt me, they can hurt me. I can't just like wave it in front of them and say, hey, I got a restraining order against you. Like, don't hurt me. It's like, it's not reality. So now. I filed this whole story that I just told you. I spelled it out verbatim, like even probably more detail than what I'm telling you now. It was probably about 2 or 3 typed pages, and I submitted the paperwork online. It's free to file. And I think the next day or 2 days after that, I got an email indicating that it was rejected because I forgot to sign or fill out one little form or attach some little form. Which was disappointing, because I felt that it was a serious situation, and maybe that's how the law or how it's set up, but
So, do you recall what jurisdiction you filed that in?
Yeah, here in Orange.
Here, okay.
Yeah.
With Orange County Sheriff's or City of Orlando?
I believe it's Orange County Sheriff's, I believe.
Okay.
I'm not 100%.
Or just through the courthouse?
It was just Orange. It was County of Orange courthouse, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. But they rejected the restraining order, and I had planned on correcting it and resubmitting, but I never got a chance to over the past couple days.
And so that was beginning of July?
Yes.
Is that before or after the 4th of July?
Before.
Okay.
Before.
And so you filed this. You didn't call and make a police report or anything like that?
I called also. I attempted to call the City of Orlando PD. I think that's who maybe told me. I may have even called 911. I think I called 911 one day because my brother, I believe he may have called me more than once to threaten me. It wasn't just like a one-time thing. But I also called. I tried to get in touch when OPD wouldn't cooperate with me, or I didn't feel that they were helping me. I was like, I need to go to the top. So I tried to reach out to Chief of Police Smith here in Orlando, and I left, I think, at least one message, if not, I think I left maybe 2 messages with the secretary or with whoever, asking, can you have someone from either the Chief of Police himself or one of his representatives contact me, because this is a bad situation.
So this is all happening.
This is all happening in early July. Yes. Okay. And then can you lower that a little bit? It's kind of distracting me.
It's really loud. I apologize. But that's the lowest it goes.
Okay. That's fine. So yeah, I left messages for the Chief of Police. I even contacted Buddy Dyer's office. I was like, because this is his city, you know what I mean? It's like, he's the mayor.
So you were like phone calls?
I was phone calls. These were phone calls. I may have even done emails too. I don't remember everything, but I tried to do everything I could to alert the authorities of what has been transpiring as of the last week or so, at that time.
Right. So, all right. So,
and I never got a call from anybody at Orlando. I never got a call from Buddy Dyer's office. Nobody ever returned my phone calls. Not even a courtesy phone call from a secretary or anybody. And
and your phone was working okay at this time?
Oh, of course, it was working fantastic.
Okay. I just wasn't sure because you said you didn't have it, so I didn't know if you lost it then. Or...
Well, I lost it like. I literally lost it like probably like a few days, like July 3rd, maybe something like that, maybe July 2nd, 3rd. I literally lost it. I went for a walk, and I think I sat it on a bench. I was at Lake Eola, sitting on a bench, and later I realized, like, wait, where's my phone?
Yeah, do you have like the Find My iPhone thing?
But I don't have the. What do you call it? My computer wasn't. My computer stopped working. My Apple computer, so I couldn't do that. Okay. Yeah, but I do have that.
Is there any just computers that I understand break sometimes?
Yeah. So my computer, my laptop stopped working.
Just out of the blue.
It really did. Yeah. And it was the charger, I believe. I've had issues in the past with the charger.
Okay.
The computer itself has always worked. It's just it was a charging issue.
Got it.
The computer wouldn't. I couldn't get the computer to boot because it has zero energy or zero power. And I think that the charger wasn't working. So yeah, I couldn't do the Find My iPhone thing. And
okay. So I think, is there anything else I need to know from you or anything else you want to share with me before we finish things up here?
Just, let me think. Not really. I think those are all the key
things you
key facts,
kind of want out there.
I mean, there's no reason to go further back than June, whatever,
Okay.
But I do find it funny that, I do want to go back. I want to go back to probably early June.
Okay.
Early June.
So before the 19th?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's say early June, late May. Okay?
Okay.
Sometime in May or June. I was on Facebook. Okay? I'm on there. I hate Facebook, personally. I'm not a fan. but I only use it to promote my brands and stay in touch with family and friends and stuff.
Right. Do you regularly use social media?
I used to not. And then when I launched my new brands, I launched my music brand, I believe in April of this year. It's called Heavy Mental, HEAVYX Mental. It's all one word. Okay. And Heavy Mental is basically my producer name when I produce music. It's like my nom de plume or my alias, you could say. So artist name like Prince or something. So
you're on Facebook.
I started posting a lot, and the reason I was posting was it wasn't to get attention or I was like attention seeking. It was literally just to alert my friends and family that I was doing that. Because I've been doing music for over 20 years, but only in April did I release it ever for the first time. I've been keeping it to myself, waiting for what I consider the right time to do it. And so in April I began releasing my music online on Bandcamp.com, which is an awesome website for like independent artists. It allows you to showcase your music. People can stream it, they can purchase it. People can buy merch on there if you want to sell T-shirts, hats. You can sell anything on there. As long as it's legal.
Got it.
So it's not the dark web. So anyway, So at one point, I forget what it was exactly, but my mom sent me a text one day, or called me, or sent me an email. She may have sent me a text. I don't recall exactly, but what she communicated to me was that she says, everyone is talking about you right now behind your back, and all your friends and all your family here on Facebook, they're very upset with you and don't like the content that you're posting. And I'm thinking, and like, I'm a grown man. I have a First Amendment right to free speech. I can say whatever I want, as long as I'm not violating the rules of Facebook and threatening people or stalking people or cyber stalking or that sort of thing. Like, I can say whatever I want. I can say I think President Biden's a Martian if I want. You know what I mean? I can say whatever I want, right?
Fair enough.
So anyway, so it really upset me to the core, because I love my mom, and normally she has my back. Like, I grew up, I was more of a mama's boy than a daddy's son, because my dad traveled all the time growing up, and he was like a traveling salesman. And so, and like I said, he has a history, well documented history of being an asshole and being difficult and likes to push buttons and provoking people to wrath and that sort of thing. So, but I still love him. We all have our flaws, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And they have done a lot for me. So, So I basically paraphrased. I put out a post on Facebook, and I paraphrased what my mom said. Right? I basically said, I can't believe that. I may have even screenshotted, like posted the screenshot of what she sent. But bottom line is, I kind of put her on blast on my Facebook and said, like, this is like my life. Welcome to my life, kind of. And because I wanted to see what people had to say, because here she is claiming, like, without naming names, like, she says everybody is talking, like, streets are talking. You know what I mean? And so I posted that just for a variety of reasons, And one person that replied was my aunt, who's my dad's sister, my dad's younger sister. Her name's Noreen Sankovich. She lives in Pennsylvania, and her and I get along. And I think she's a cool woman. But her and my dad have had beef ever since they were kids. My whole life, my dad's tried his best to keep me away from her. He's never wanted our family to associate with her. Anytime we do, it's like he doesn't like it. And but she chimed in my comments and said, like, yeah, like, welcome. That's how our family does, Scott. Like don't you get it? You know what I mean? Like that's. She's like, welcome to my life. Like she's like, I'm older than you. I've been dealing with my father and my mother like my whole life, right? So I was like, wow, that sucks, you know. But ever since I did that, my mom's been very standoffish toward me, you know. Like I told you, the last time I saw her was like in June, like a week before the 19th, when I brought my friend Donald Cooley up. We all hung out and were cool, but I can remember it was similar to when my father, when I went to shake his hand and he kind of like rejected my handshake. I went to hug my mom and kiss her on the cheek, and she was just kind of like,
Was there any purpose to taking your business partner up there to meet your family?
Yeah, I just wanted to show him the villages.
Oh, okay.
He came to Miami for an event, and decided to spend a few days up in Orlando. And I was like, dude, we got to go check out the village. I got to show you the villages. This place is amazing. And you know, and I took him there, and he loved it. Like they loved him. Like I'm telling you, it was, even though my mom kind of like was cold to me a little bit, it was still it was good, you know. And and then
Okay. You said you use pot. What kind, do you smoke it? Do you like? What is your edibles?
I don't really like edibles. I smoke it.
Okay. Yeah. Do you normally at home? That is the Paramount home. Would you have like lighters or matches there normally, or do you know if you had some there?
Absolutely. Because I also burn incense sometimes.
Okay.
So I burn incense. I love incense. And
where do you burn that at, or what is
in the kitchen?
In the kitchen?
Yeah, in the kitchen.
Okay.
On the kitchen table.
Like on the.
It's a big island.
Island. Okay.
Island. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And
I try not to do it that often, just because I don't want to smoke up the. And I actually take precaution when I do burn it. 9 out of 10 times I put like a blanket at the base of my front door, so that like the smoke doesn't emanate into the hallway. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, which I don't think it's probably like overkill, but I've always tried to be a courteous neighbor. Okay. And I have a lot of neighbors who smoke marijuana regularly, and I smell their marijuana, but it doesn't bother me because I like it. So,
and so the only place you would typically use your incense is like on that kitchen island.
Right.
And
right.
I like can you describe to me like? Those are like the sticks, right? I'm not too familiar with
incense sticks. Yes.
And is there like something that holds them, or do you just like?
Yeah, it's a holder. It's a wooden.
Okay, so like
holder.
A wooden holder.
And it's a wooden, like rectangular shaped, like almost like ruler size, like 12 inches.
Okay.
And it curves, has a little curve at the end with a hole, and you put the stick in the hole, and you light it, and it catches the ash.
Okay. Cool.
It doesn't do the greatest job of catching the ash, but
understood.
Yeah.
And have you ever, because of that, set like the smoke detectors off in your apartment or anything like that? No. And you just kind of would.
Because I always keep my door to my balcony open.
Okay.
To let the air out. Like I said, I'm cautious. I don't want to hotbox, quote so to speak, the apartment. So I always and I often keep my bedroom window open.
Okay.
So I like ventilation. And I'm on the top floor. It can get stuffy if the air conditioning is not working, which on several occasions the air conditioning stopped working there. And I have ceiling fans, but but 9 out of 10 times I keep the door to the balcony open. I keep the window in the bedroom open, and I block the base of the
door.
Yeah, the door. The front door.
And to light the incense, you use matches or a lighter?
I use a lighter.
Okay. And where do you normally keep that?
In a drawer. I have a drawer designated. It's the right drawer. Like if I was
in your kitchen?
Yeah, in the kitchen. There's actually in that island, on the side facing, I guess it would be my refrigerator and my sink. There are 2 drawers, I believe. 3. There are 3 drawers. The far right is my designated like smoking and incense drawer, where I keep my incense. I might keep my marijuana. That's where I keep my marijuana card. Like,
did you have any in your apartment like currently? Do you know
what marijuana?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. No. Do you use like candles or anything in your apartment?
I love candles. Yes, I love candles. Did
you have any in there like recently?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Do you remember the last time you were using them?
Yeah. Probably like a week or two ago.
A week or two ago. Okay.
Yeah. I really love candles. And when I say I love candles, like,
do you like your apartment to smell good? It sounds like
it's not even really the smell with the candles. It's more I like the ambiance that it creates. You know, the mood.
Okay.
You know, I'm kind of, I'm not a religious person, but you know, it's a good vibe. I like it. I like it.
Okay. And do you normally like cook dinner or cook stuff at home?
I don't, but my ex-girlfriend does. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your ex-girlfriend's name?
Ayanna Dixon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dixon. And when did you guys break up?
Well, we were never really fully together.
Okay, so just kind of like hanging out type of thing.
Well, I mean, we never made it like an official. We never like sat down and said we're a couple and here's the ground rules and you know, she's just somebody I've been seeing, I guess you could say, dating off and on for about 2 years now.
When was the last time you went on a date?
Well, probably the last time I saw her was
or saw her.
She came over probably maybe June 17th. I think it was. It was a Sunday, I believe.
During that kind of
Saturday or Sunday. It was the Saturday or Sunday before June 19th is the last time I saw her.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what'd you guys do?
We just hung out at home.
Did you go anywhere?
We just stayed at home. She came over with her dog.
Okay.
And
do you drive?
Oh yeah.
Do you have a car?
Yeah.
Is it at
at Paramount? No, it's currently at Toyota of Orlando by Mall Millennia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's sitting there.
And, what happened?
Well, my friend Don Cooley, who I mentioned, he came to visit me. The day he left, I don't remember exactly what day he left town, but we went to visit. It's called West Side Skate Shop in Tampa. Well, actually, I think it's Tarpon Springs technically, but it's called West Side Skate Shop. The owner is a guy named John Montesi, who is a former pro skateboarder. Really cool guy. That was my first time meeting him. Actually, Cooley introduced us. I'd always heard about John because we all have mutual friends. It's kind of a small world in the skate world, you know.
Understood.
And so when after we went to West Side, we were driving home. Or no, I was driving to take him to the airport, to MCO, okay? So
you were going from Tampa to
MCO?
From
Tampa, Tarpon area to MCO. I'm trying to get my friend to the airport. And we're running a little late, so, you know, I was driving a little fast, I guess, you know, faster than usual maybe. But not like recklessly, you know. But I'm trying to get us there. Yeah. And I didn't get pulled over or anything. I mean, I wasn't like it was pretty much traffic, so like I was telling him, like, bro, like I'm like, this is the best I can do. You might have to catch the next flight. You know, it looks like you're probably gonna miss.
And where was he flying to?
Back to LA. Los Angeles. Yeah.
Okay.
So
you're in your car, and what kind of car was it?
It's a 2012 Prius.
Okay. What color?
White. Yeah, with a metal strip along the side.
Okay.
And
so you're driving, got the pedal to the metal because you're trying to get him out of time.
And then the car overheats. So I pull over, and long story short, I can't get the car to go. So he's like, dude, I got to get this flight. He's like, I'm going to catch an Uber. I'm going to call Uber, and I'm going to go to the airport, and, like, good luck. Which I thought was kind of lame a little bit because, that's a whole other story. But anyway, so
your car broke down.
Yeah, so my car breaks down. He leaves, so now I'm by myself. I was able to get the car like to turn on for like a split second, and I tried to pull as far to the right as I could because I didn't want to be stuck on the.
And what road were you on?
I was on the 4.
Okay.
Yeah. So now I'm there, and I called Ayanna, and I said, hey, my car is acting up. I need your help right now. Can you call a tow truck for me? Because I was like, my phone's about to die. The charger in my car has always been terrible. Like the USB connection or whatever, like it does a terrible job. I don't even think it charges it.
Right.
Like it looks like it's charging, but it doesn't charge.
Right.
So I was like, my phone's about to die. I really need your help. And so she calls a tow truck. She shows up. A few minutes later, the tow truck shows up. Santiago Towing. And he tows my car back to the Paramount.
Okay. All right. And then eventually you had it.
And then eventually, a few days after that, I called Santiago again and said, hey, can you come give me a tow to tow my car to Orlando? I want them to look at the car. And I was also thinking about maybe selling the car because the car, had been diagnosed with like an oil issue probably about a year and a half ago up at Phillips Toyota in Leesburg, where I typically have the car service. And they wanted like $2,700 or $2,800 to fix the oil issue, and the car at that time, the Blue Book value was like less than that. So I was like, why am I going to dump that into the, it didn't make sense. So ultimately, I got to the Toyota dealership in Orlando. I think I dealt with a guy named John. Don't remember his last name right off the bat.
It's okay.
And they didn't get a chance to look at the car, or they did briefly. I was kind of confused. I'm still kind of confused about it. But long story short, I said, make me your best offer, and let's see if we can maybe just I'll wash my hands clean of the car today, right? Because I was like, I don't use my car that often ever since I've lived downtown.
So
everything is like in close proximity, right? And I spend most of my time at home anyway. I don't go to clubs. I'm not into partying. Like, I don't really mingle that much with people.
And
so they offered me $300 for my car. And I laughed, and I was like, I said, I'll tell you what. I said, hold on to the car for a minute. I said, and let me get back to you on that. And so here we are.
Okay. And when did that happen?
That happened like probably toward the end of June, like maybe before Juneteenth.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't remember exactly.
Okay.
I'd have to pull their records or.
Right. Yeah. So, look, I'm going to level with you. The fire that occurred in your apartment could not have happened by accident.
Okay.
And you're telling me no one else has access to your apartment.
Well, other than this is what I forgot to mention. I got 2 wellness checks instituted by my parents after the incident with my father. After the June 19th incident, where I said he acted funny and threatened to slander and defame me and get me kicked out. So 2 to 3 times after that, one day I was sitting in my apartment. It was that week of June 19th. I get a loud knock at my door. It's OPD. They said, we're here to do a wellness check. I said, a wellness check? Why? Well, your mom is worried about you, and she thinks you're going to hurt yourself or hurt somebody else. And I said, do you guys have a warrant? And they said, no. And they said, well, can you let us in? And I said, not unless you have a warrant. Then they said, well, we just want to help. And I said, I'm fine. I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to hurt anybody else. I'm a peaceful person. I don't have a documented history of violence at all. So I said, I appreciate your service, and I appreciate you coming out here, but you can go now, right?
Right.
And they left. Then, I guess maybe 2 days later, 2 to 3 days later, probably 2 days later, I get another knock. Bop, 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 bop. This time it's even louder. And I'm like upset because and I think I had already even expressed this to the people downstairs. I said, why didn't you alert me that the police were here to see me? Like you guys have a policy that nobody can ever come up to my apartment without first going through you guys. It's partially why I live there, because it's very good security. I feel safe. I'm on the top floor. I have you guys, and so it was another wellness check.
Okay.
OPD again, another wellness check.
Right.
So now I'm like, this is crazy. I can kind of see what's going on here, because, my dad one time kind of.
So these were this your parents call your mom?
Apparently, the first time was my mom. Okay. Supposedly.
Okay.
The second time supposedly was my brother, Mark Weber, the one who had threatened me. So he went from threatening me on the phone, like I said, with veiled threats of violence, to now trying to utilize the OPD to detain me and bring me in for a wellness check. Okay? So I thought that was very fishy and funny, and that's when I think I decided to contact that's when I decided to contact the
Chief Smith.
Yes, that's when I decided to do that.
Okay.
So
those all happened in June, like around
June and July.
July?
That was all more June. That was all the end of June.
So you had 2 of those?
At least 2. Two to my knowledge. Yeah, I think 2. Let's call it 2.
Okay.
2 wellness.
You don't remember any other ones?
One night I got a knock, but the person didn't identify themselves. They just said it was like it was a knock, and downstairs didn't call me to tell me that someone was coming up, but it was a very suspicious sounding knock. And mind you, prior to this, in my 24 months of living there, I never had this happen one time.
Right.
So now 3 times in 1 week, I'm getting these knocks at my door. Twice it's OPD. The 3rd time, I didn't even want to go to the peephole in the door to see who it was. I was that nervous about it, or uneasy about it. And one other thing I want to mention too is that I had a weird incident. I don't even know if this is relevant, but I'm just going to say it for what it's worth. I had a bat come into my apartment somehow. The last time I saw my ex-girlfriend now.
Do you remember what?
She visited me. She visited me. I said it was Saturday or Sunday prior to June 19th.
Oh, okay.
So like it was either Saturday or Sunday night prior to June 19th. It might even have been Monday night, but it was around that time. And she visited me. She only came for a few hours that night. Like she came, brought her dog. I think she might have cooked.
Okay.
And then it was time for her to go, and it was the evening, and she left. And no sooner than she left, I went to the bathroom and to use the restroom, and then I went to the kitchen to get a drink or something, and I turned around, and in the corner of near my front door, by my front door, there's some brown balled up thing, right? And I was like, what is that? And I thought it was maybe a mouse at first. I was like, that's weird, because I'm on the top floor. In my 24 months of living there, never once had a single bird, creature come into my... Even though I keep my door open.
Yeah.
My balcony door open.
And this is the evening time?
This is the evening time.
Okay.
And long story short, I was like, whatever that is, I don't feel good about it. So I was like, I need to stomp on it or something. So I got some paper towels and some cardboard, and I put it on top of it, and I stomped it, one big stomp. And I peeled it back. It was the ugliest bat, evil-looking bat I've seen in my life. I was freaked out. I was like, what the fuck? A bat in my apartment? How the hell did this get in my apartment?
Right.
I'm like, and the first thing I thought was, did she just put a bat, leave a bat behind, or put it under the door or something? And I hated to think that,
right,
but that's what I thought.
And at this time, was your door open?
I don't remember. I don't recall. I don't recall. Yeah, I don't recall.
A balcony door?
Yeah, I don't recall. It probably was, though, because most of the time
you said most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time it is. So,
I don't want to assume
but still, I would have seen it fly in, because it was very quick in the time that I went to the bathroom. We're talking seconds, but yeah, I'm not I don't want to accuse anybody of anything, but I just thought it was odd that in the midst of all this weird quote unquote shit that was happening to me over the last week or two, that now I have a bat in my apartment. Yes. So I posted it. I took pictures of it. I posted it on social media.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, what is up? Why is this happening to me? Or what? Does anybody, And then I learned from talking to people how bats have this ability, because they can go in and out of small crevices and tight spaces. That's one of their gifts, So they could easily come under that door right there. That crack is enough that a bat could come under there if it wanted to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And so you said Ayana might have cooked that night. Was that probably the last time you cooked in your house?
I believe so.
Okay.
No. I cooked after that. After that. Yeah. Yeah. I cooked some soup and some corned beef hash.
Okay.
That's it.
And do you remember when that was?
3rd or 4th, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you store anything in your oven or on your stovetop or anything like that?
Yeah. Pots, pans.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
typical.
Just normal.
Yeah.
Cooking
items. Right.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that's about all I have for you. I'm going to step out here and talk with the officer, and we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Sure.
I'll be right back. this.
I have a question.
What's up?
Can I tell him one more thing?
You need to tell him one more thing?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Give me 1 second. Okay, just stand up for me, please.
Sure.
And you can face the wall there. Oh, no, you don't
this-
have to go
this
nowhere.
wall?
Just face this wall,
Oh,
right in
face
front
the
of
wall.
you. Yep.
Okay. I thought you meant go to the wall.
No, you're okay.
Can you not put them on super tight, please?
I try not to.
All right.
I'll put them over.
I'm not a flight risk. I'm not going anywhere.
I appreciate that. How about this?
That's fine.
Okay.
Are you Haitian?
I am.
Wow.
Yeah, you can tell that by my last name.
More your face.
My
Your
face.
facial features, yeah.
It's the first time I've been told that.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a consulate on Colonial.
Yeah? You've dealt with them?
No, I thought about it.
Oh, okay. Do you want your water?
No, thank you.
Okay.
I had something else I wanted to add. Yeah.